do you respond to chaos? How you respond to chaos is a good indicator in terms of your level of awareness and your level of consciousness. So it's very easy for many of us in the spiritual community to be in meditation, to be reading all the books, to be listening to all the podcasts, to be all about unicorns and fairy lights and light and love. But when we don't integrate that into our reality, then we're not actually utilizing our level of awareness to its full potential. And so, what I find is that I get tested regularly. And the way that I get tested is that I live in Adelaide. I used to live in Melbourne, and these two cities have completely different energies. So Adelaide is very laid back, very relaxed. I don't see any friends and family in Adelaide, not many anyway. It's mostly about me and my partner, and it's really easy to be living this peaceful, loving existence here in Adelaide because there's not there's not the external pressures and stresses that you normally encounter in your life. So it's easy for me to be all love and light and to have my heart open and to be feeling all joyful and blissful and at peace with my life because I don't have those external factors that get in the way. But what actually happens, and I love the way that the universe has organized this for me, is that I go to Melbourne regularly. And Melbourne, I go to probably once a month or once every 6 weeks, the most. And Melbourne is very, very different. So, Melbourne is very high intensity. All my friends and family are there. My business is there. My clinic is there. There's a lot of factors that are occurring all the time. And it's really interesting watching how I relate to all of that when I go back to Melbourne. So I've got this duality happening. I've got this peaceful, beautiful existence in Adelaide, which is really quite idyllic. And then I go back to Melbourne where it's like there's dramas and there's stresses and all sorts of things are happening literally from the moment that I land. And it's just so interesting to watch how I respond to those type of situations and whether I have really integrated the learnings that I get when I'm in that really quiet space of self-reflection in Adelaide. So I'll give you an example of something that happened the last time I went to Melbourne. The time before that I went to Melbourne, the moment I landed, my garage door broke. The moment I landed, and I always get there sort of late at night, and so it's like the garage door's broken. I can't put down the garage door. And that means my house won't be protected if the garage door is up. So automatically I'm presented with a situation, and it's all about how do I respond to that situation. And the very last time that I went to Melbourne, what actually happened was even worse. The night that I landed and went to Melbourne, so I walked into my Melbourne home and I opened up my ensuite bathroom and there was a blocked pipe in my shower. So it was the remnants of sewage in my shower. Now, this is a brand new home. I bought this brand new home so that it wouldn't have any issues. And then I realised that it was blocked, so I organised for a plumber to come the very next day. And I thought, well, I'll go upstairs to have a shower to one of the upstairs showers, not realising how sewage system works and not knowing that it's all connected. So I had this huge, long shower after cleaning up downstairs. I had this huge, long, luxurious, beautiful shower upstairs. Come downstairs, ready to go into my bed because I just travelled from another city, and the shower was absolutely flooded with sewage from my upstairs shower. It had all come down, and the way that the pipes were blocked meant that there was this flood happening in my bathroom. And so I needed to clean all that up. So I literally got thrown into a shitstorm the moment that I landed in Melbourne. And I was so surprised as to how I handled that situation. I feel that if that had happened a few years earlier, I feel like I would have been in more of a stressed drama kind of state. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of this shit poo that's in the bathroom. But instead, what I did was I was full of gratitude. Now, let me explain. I was so grateful that it was me that found this mess and not my staff, because this home in Melbourne is actually my business. It's my clinic, and I keep one bedroom and one bathroom to myself, which I leave locked. But the rest of the place is a clinic. So I'm so grateful that my staff didn't have to deal with this. I'm so grateful that the cleaners that go regularly to that place didn't have to deal with this. I'm so grateful that it was me that dealt with it. I'm so grateful that it wasn't the following month when my partner Christian was supposed to come down for my son's 30th, and that he didn't have to deal with it. I was just full of gratitude. Like, I was literally saying, thank you, God. Thank you, God, that this is me that's dealing with this today and not anybody else in my life. And that I'm the one that's dealing with this situation. And I was really calm, really relaxed, really grateful about being the one that caught this particular situation. And then, with all these other things that were going on in Melbourne, conversations that were happening with friends and family and staff and so on. And because the way that I look at myself now is very much like a character in a movie, and I do not identify with the character. So I do not believe that my consciousness is that character. I just see that character as a character. And so I observe the way the character reacts in amidst, quite a bubble of stress and drama and things that are happening, because a lot happens when I'm in Melbourne. There's a lot going on. There's lots of things I need to do for the clinic, and my team's in and out, and I'm speaking to a lot of people, and I'm seeing a lot of people, and I'm catching up with people. And so I observe to see how I respond. And sometimes it's interesting because a conversation happens and I say something and I think, oh, that's interesting that I responded like that. Like, that's like the old Helen who would respond like that, not the new Eleni that responds like that. So it's interesting that sometimes we still respond in a way that may not be your highest possible expression, and it's really just interesting watching the character in these different situations. And so really what this video is about is the most important thing is to watch yourself. Like, really watch yourself, not judge yourself, but really watch yourself in terms of how do you respond with chaos? Because that's a really good indicator in terms of your level of awareness and your level of consciousness. If you can find the silver lining in the chaos whilst you're in the chaos, I believe that that's like next level. If you see the silver lining um, in that chaos directly after or soon after, that means that your level of awareness is increasing all the time and you're able to see things from a higher perspective almost immediately, which is really, it's really wonderful because it means that we don't get caught up in the stress and the drama of the circumstances that surround us. And yeah, another time that I was in Melbourne, I had a flat tire. It's just like all these things happen when I'm in Melbourne, and they just feel like it's just one, it mirrors my internal reality in terms of what's really going on for me. Is it because I feel like these are the kinds of things that happen whilst I'm in Melbourne? The second thing, almost like a test to see that everything that I have learned and everything that I know in terms of how the universe is connected, I'm getting really tested here, because it's like, how do I deal with this situation? How flexible can I be in that moment? Like I remember recently when my tire blew, just as I was parking to go to the gym, and I hadn't gone for the gym for a while and I really wanted to go to the gym that day, and really being okay with the fact that that's okay. I don't need to go to the gym. Like, it's okay. Like, just deal with whatever is being presented with you to you in that moment. So it really is about how do we respond in those moments when things are out of our control? How do we respond in those moments? So it's not about when everything's working out perfectly and the sun is shining and everything's going exactly as you plan. That's not really a moment where you're getting tested. Where you're really getting tested in terms of your level of awareness and consciousness is, how do you respond in the chaos? Are you still able to find your center in the chaos? Are you still able to find your calmness in the chaos? Are you still able to find gratitude in the shitstorm? Like I did. And I was really pleased with myself that I was able to find gratitude in the shitstorm. And I thought, well, good on you. Like, previously you wouldn't have responded so with an open heart like that. You would have been stressed out about the situation. But I trusted that the plumber would sort everything out, that everything would be fine, and that this is just yet another test that I need to pass. And how do I pass that test? By being true to myself, by being calm, by being trusting with the universe and understanding that everything is exactly as it should be and everything is okay. And also not trying to control the situation, like not fighting the situation, not going against the situation, and understanding that the situation is really there, so that I can work with it, not against it. So rather than, oh no, this is happening to me, oh my God, this is breaking down and everything happens to me and woe is me. And when I told my family about it the next day, they're like, oh, you poor thing. And I was like, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Like, I'm so happy that it was me and not my staff. I'm so happy that it was me and not my cleaners. I'm so happy that it was me and not when Christian came with me next month. So I'm so happy. So I'm very, very grateful. So it's to see the gratitude in every situation, because every situation there always, 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 always is a silver lining, no matter what. Always is. And I've had someone say to me, in fact, one of my sisters has said to me, you can't just continue to see the world from rose colored glasses. Well, why not? Why can't we? Of course we can. Of course we can, because when we see the world with rose colored glasses, everything sort of mellows out and works itself out, and you're not fighting this struggle. You're not fighting to control things. You're just letting things go, taking the action you need, trusting that everything will be okay and that everything will turn out exactly as it should be. If this resonates with you, with what I'm saying here today, please leave some comments. I'd love to hear your opinion, whether you agree, whether you don't. It's both okay. And like, do you see the silver lining in your chaos? Do you find gratitude in your heart when you have a shitstorm happening around you? How do you respond to these situations? I really would love to hear more. Please share this message with someone who perhaps isn't mastering the moment in front of them and is trying to control everything and everything seems out of control. I love it if you share this video. Sending you so much love and so much gratitude for being here, and yeah, for being part of this community. I love you. Bye.